Good morning, everybody, and congratulations to eede, because to fill a room with an audience of this caliber on a day like today is no small feat. I want to focus today mostly on the image that Greece has right now with the American business community, because I think we all agree that Greece is at a crossroads. As elsewhere in the world, a growth model here that depended on consumption and on debt rather than production and increased competitiveness has reached its limit. We all know this. Difficult and painful reforms are required to lay the base for more sustainable growth in the future. And we Americans, we recognize how difficult and painful those reforms are. Secretary Clinton said as much when she was in Athens in July. But we believe they hold the promise for a brighter and more prosperous future for Greece. But as we've been talking about this morning, this is a moment of reckoning. The effort to rebrand Greece begins today. You have the world's attention today. You have had it over the past few weeks because of all of the volatility, and you still have it today with a new government, and this is the moment when you start changing those images. How Greeks, not just the politicians, but Greeks themselves react this morning to the new government will shape all those international impressions of what kind of path you are going to take as you move forward. So this is a moment of opportunity for Greece. It's an opportunity to rebuild Greece's economy on the solid ground of productivity. It's an opportunity to modernize Greece's way of doing business so that everyone has a fair chance at success. And it's an opportunity to create a sustainable future for Greece's next generation. Greece's brand name has certainly suffered. And this has been a period of intense international scrutiny. I think we can all agree the volatile politics, the economic problems have done nothing to increase the attractiveness of Greece to anyone, of Greece's brand right now. But it doesn't have to stay that way. And the whole world loves a comeback story. Much of the speculation about a Greek default over the past few weeks in the press compared the situation in Greece to the situation in other countries that have either been on the verge of default or have defaulted and have bounced back, albeit slowly in some cases. So the world is going to be rooting for Greece right now as it picks itself up by its bootstraps and gets back in the game. And that shouldn't be difficult for Greeks. It shouldn't be difficult for the smart and well-educated workforce that's here. It shouldn't be difficult for the entrepreneurial Greeks that I encounter every day. Greece is a small country, and it can be challenging for small countries to prosper, but Europe has plenty of examples of small countries that are thriving, that are making the most of their resources, providing a high standard of living for their populations. Denmark, Holland, Belgium, and the Baltic states, they all have limited resources and have successfully used their individual comparative advantages and effective balance between private and public economic activity to create open, transparent, dynamic economies that attract business. There's no reason at all why Greece cannot take its place among these thriving countries. But to achieve this, Greece needs to continue to move away from the old model that led jump seekers to aspire primarily to the security of the public sector. And we've seen in our activities here that young people are ready to embrace that kind of a shift. Last month we had a conference on entrepreneurship that the embassy held in Athens. together with young leaders, Hellas, the Niarchos Foundation, the Secretariat General for Youth, organizations working together in cooperation. And we had over 400 young people who registered for that, attended the whole day's events. Women entrepreneurs here in Thessaloniki have reacted with similar enthusiasm to the Invest for the Future project that Secretary Clinton initiated a few months ago. But to make this shift to private sector-led growth, the economic reforms that Greece is pursuing are critical. And in particular, these are the reforms that tackle corruption, tax evasion, and lack of transparency. Because right now, that is part of Greece's international image. If I'm a business person and I'm interested in possibly exploring opportunities in Greece, and I spend 20 minutes on the internet, here's what I learn about Greece. Greece is in 90th place out of 142 countries on the World Economic Forum's Global Competitive Index. Greece scored 60 out of 100 on the Heritage Foundation's Economic Freedom Index. Transparency International has Greece at 78 on its 2010 Corruption Perceptions Index, with a score of 3.5, which is just a couple notches over highly corrupt as a country. And the World Bank ranked Greece 100 out of 183 countries in its Doing Business report this year. Well below all of Greece's immediate neighbors, the last among the OECD high-income countries. So to compete in the modern economy, Greece cannot continue to allow bureaucracy and special interests to impede enterprise. Because really the best way for Greece to rebrand itself is to move up these lists and other rankings like them. In other words, some of the previous speakers have mentioned, to take constructive action to address the policies and practices that cause the country to place as low as it does in the global market. I mean, the main concerns that we hear from American businesses and investors that are considering entering the Greek market are these bureaucratic impediments and delays. The complexity of the regulations, their irregular enforcement cause many to shy away, and they can pose an insurmountable expense for small and medium-sized enterprises that might want to enter the Greek market. And these are the engines of economic growth. I mean, that some of the initiatives the Greek government has taken, such as the creation of a one-stop shop, are positive. But our businesses tell us they need to go further to ease bureaucratic obstacles and to address the lack of transparency. All of Greece's major parties have emphasized their commitment to making this country more business-friendly, and this, together with, hopefully, consensus to implement the economic measures of the October support package for Greece, this bodes well for the future. And I know we're spending a lot of time here talking about the challenges, but we can't lose sight of all the competitive advantages that Greece has and that people need to know about because they're numerous. We've talked about shipping and tourism. Those are two of the most obvious, but Greece's sunshine and wind make it ideal for alternative energy and renewable energy companies. Information and communication technology, safety and security, even waste management are all sectors that are ripe for development and that companies are interested in. And Greece has the opportunity to seize the EU grants that are available in these areas. Implementing those projects, procurement of goods and services to do so, that brings economic growth and job opportunities, but the successful completion of projects like that will help Greece generate interest and expand its reputation in all of those sectors. So it's not just about getting the grant, it's about implementing it quickly and well and telling that story afterwards. In short, to attract foreign investment, Greece has to make it attractive for investors to take a chance in this market. The United States strongly supports Greece in its efforts to implement necessary reforms, American citizens have great sympathy for the hardship that all of these efforts entail. And US industries and businesses see a lot of potential in the Greek market. There's interest there. So this is an opportunity to modernize and to rebuild the economy for future generations and to create more opportunities for the Greek people to participate and succeed in the modern global economy. And I have to tell you, on a personal basis, I get so frustrated with the kinds of European press and even US international press headlines that we've seen today about Greeks being lazy, Greeks sitting around drinking coffee, not doing anything. I know the Greeks that come to the United States are incredibly successful, productive citizens. The Greeks that come to the United States are hardworking and energetic and creative. They're entrepreneurs, they're intellectuals, they build businesses in their initial years in the United States that create jobs in the US and create wealth and create knowledge. And I know Greeks can do that here too. It's just a matter of focus and perseverance and effort and clearing away these systematic impediments that have kept people confined over these years. I am absolutely sure that Greece can come out of this a success story, and that can be the new brand. But it has to start today. And it can't just come from the government leadership. It has to come from every single Greek, taking from this moment clear, concrete steps forward to show that Greece is more than what has been in the press over the last couple weeks. And if that happens, the Americans are going to be there. They're going to be there as tourists, they're going to be there as business partners, they're going to be there as investors because the interest is there. It's a matter of providing the environment that brings them. So good luck with that, and we'll help as much as we can. Thank you.